MacArthur's engineering officer, and he said, we've got one brigade in North Africa, and we've got 3 other brigades coming in rapid succession. Would MacArthur be interested? And MacArthur jumped at the chance because at that time they had just taken Buna in December of 42, and he was trying to leapfrog up the coast of New Guinea, and it was the kind of an operation where they didn't need the Navy to, it wasn't a big landing where they had to come in with the big ships and shell the beach and all that stuff. It was a matter of moving troops, maybe a couple hundred at a time, up the coast 20 miles, and then maybe another 20 or 50 miles. And so MacArthur jumped at the chance to get the next 3 brigades, and that's how our group happened to end up going to the South Pacific then.
So you were in Fort Devon when this happened, and they sent you to New Guinea.
Well, I was in Devon's, and then the rest of our training was we went out on Cape Cod and took our initial boat training out on Cape Cod, and they had also a aerial gunnery place out there at Papanesset. And then in the wintertime we had to go down to, they established a base down in Carabel, Florida, so we could have training all winter. And then the following summer away we were shipped to the Pacific.
And you went by ship, by convoy?
No, we went on the America, which was the biggest liner that we had at that time, and it was, at that time, the Navy had taken it over, and it was called the West Point. And we went from San Francisco to Sydney with about 8,000 troops aboard.
But you weren't just one ship. You must have had
no, one ship.
No destroyers or
Nothing.
Cruisers, just the ship.
See, the America, it was so fast that they did not want to slow it down to travel in a convoy. So they just poured the coal on.
And this was in 1942? Or 43?
Early 43, yeah.
That's very interesting. So you went right to New Guinea?
No, we went to Sydney.
Oh, to Sydney.
The 2nd Brigade and the 3rd Brigade went directly to Milne Bay in New Guinea, and they shipped us to Sydney and then up to Brisbane. Just before we went overseas, when we went from Florida out to California, they took our battalion and sent us to Kaiser's shipyard out there at Richmond, California.
Now you went by train to these places?
By train from Florida to Richmond, and they taught us to weld and rivet. We were in a school. They had a school there where they were training mostly women at that time because the men were on the service, and they taught us to weld and rivet, and we had no idea what that was all about. But it turned out that these landing craft we had the 56-foot LCMs, and in the Pacific we wanted the standard LCM was 50 feet, and the 1st Brigade had